Talk kings, when men talk about real life. King talk, when men come from all walks of life. Situations about life, pitfalls, God, women, and downfalls. Our lives, and everything that we go through. Folk kings, with exclusive insight to our world. Now walking the talk kings, real kings talk about real things. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Talk Kings, Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things.
Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Today we're going to talk about some things that didn't go so well in your life, whether it was a mistake that you got, that happened to you, or something that you just done wrong and you don't ever want to do it again. For me, right, when I first started my company 8 years ago, we weren't in a financial situation to be able to have money to, fly all the employees everywhere, drive around. The things that we can do now, definitely couldn't do in the beginning of the company. Because I started the company with my own money. I didn't take any loans out at that point. And we were struggling, but we had an event coming. Ironically, the event was in Williamsburg, Virginia. But at that point, I was still in the Army, and I stayed in Louisiana. I couldn't afford to fly. I couldn't fly from Louisiana to Virginia. And at that point, the second in charge, she couldn't either. Well, I didn't have enough money to fly her from where she was from to the event. So I ended up going with 3 people that could get there by train or driving. And then I had one of my family members just go and look at the event. The event was great. Everything was happening great. First day numbers came in, and when you run events and stuff like that, a lot of the revenue is not made by the parent or player registration. Is made by when people buy stuff, right? NFL, all that stuff is by ticket sales. Long story short, second day numbers were very low. And come to find out that the people that I sent stole from me. And that made me know going forward that you got to trust the people you're around. And then even when you trust them, you got to validate. So I live by that rule now. And God, I trust. Everybody else, I validate. So even you can be my best friend. But when it come down to the money, and it's not like it's about the money, but when it come down to tangible things that can be stolen or anything like that, I got a keen eye on that. Because I'll never let that happen again. That actually crippled my dream. From that day, I had to tell everybody that I couldn't pay them, right? I couldn't pay myself. I couldn't pay them. We had to wait 6 months. I told them they had to wait 6 months before they would get paid again. So they was either going to be with me or not. Thank God they all stayed, and we rectified it, and we fixed the situation. But I put a lot of things in place to make sure that, anybody who takes money is somebody that I believe won't steal. Now, anybody's tempted, you know what I'm saying? I know that, but I do enough to make sure that that situation right there never happens again. It's a bad situation because, again, like I said, man, I almost threw away everything. So if that would have happened, we wouldn't be sitting here. There's no way that we would be doing this. There's no way I would be doing a lot of other things if I would have gave up. So again, I'm glad I had that situation early on to allow me to understand that although we might laugh and joke, you got to make sure that the people around you are some people that for you. That was mine, man.
Well, situation I had, I used to play with a lot of guns when I was younger, One time, man, it's just funny now, but 4th of July, I never forget. I had 2 twin pumps under the bed. I took one out, man. Some homeboy was shot in the air. Boo, 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 boo. Take that in the house, go get another one. My mom right in the room. And that's why I made a post on Facebook the other day when they were like, where they kids keeping the guns at if the parent home. I kept guns in my mama's house, but I was somebody else in the house than I was when I went outside the house. So the other pump I took outside, we shot that pump. So I took it in the house. I was sitting there pointing the pump in my head, pointing in my hand. I wonder how this air pressure feel this thing. So I kept pulling the trigger, it won't shoot. I was sitting there holding that junk, shot it right in the house. Boom! Whole closet, blew up and stuff. Had pellets all in the wood. I go back outside, all my homeboys out there crying because they seen the fire in the room, man.
Oh, my God.
Then another
you were dead.
Yeah. Another situation I had playing with guns, I had a 22 short. Take 22 short bullets, but I ain't had enough money to buy no bullets. So we'll find out the bullets on the cement. So to make it fit in the gun. So every time I close the gun, don't close, I fire down some more. So after I got the gun closed up to 6 bullets, I go to shoot the gun at somebody, the whole gun broke. I'm holding the handle in my hand, the barrel on the ground. So I screen away from guns for a long time, man. I keep a gun down with everything that's going on around me, man, but
it's legal. You got legal.
Yeah. I got certification and everything. Yeah, but I was just doing some dumb stuff with gun, man. I said, man, God blessed me here to be for a reason, man. I'm here for a reason, boy. That man, crazy. I'm dead serious, man.
You wanted to feel the air pressure.
Yeah, you know how BB gun you pump it so much you feel the air pressure. I had that thing in my head and my hand. I said, this ain't gonna shoot. I pulled that trigger and blew. And crazy thing about it. Lord, behold, I know we're on camera. I think my mom's in the room having some sex. But she run in my room. What was that? I said, Mom, they throwing the football at the window. She go right back in the room. I come home that Monday. She done sewed my little curtain up on the closet. Pellets all in the she ain't never said nothing. Man, that was crazy, man.
Wow.
That's fun. I probably got two. I mean, as far as like when I was a kid, I was fascinated with fire. I just, burn stuff just to see it burn. From paper to used to do the same thing. Yeah.
Fire marshal build.
Even with like animals. I think to this day I don't really care for cats because I used to do like crazy stuff dealing with cats, and now I think a cat is trying to get me every time. But I used to be fascinated with fire, and it was when I was staying in over there in the Olive Branch area. A homeless guy used to stay on the other side of the fence, so we decided that we would kind of help his heating situation out.
Oh, Lord.
And we set all his stuff on fire. Well, we didn't think the fire was gonna spread. Not really thinking, but it was wooded area, and the whole backside of all of the wooded area, all of that caught on fire. Police, ambulance, all that stuff came out there, and I don't think I've actually touched fire since then. Cause we got in trouble for it. Yeah. And while we looked at the fire truck come, my dad opened up the windows while he told our tail up, said, "Look at what you done caused." So we ain't really I didn't mess with fire like that. I even barely light candles every once in a while. But the one thing as an adult, man, I let my anger take me away from a job that I was blessed to have. I was working in the pharmacy. No degree. Working in the pharmacy at Operation Smile. And I allowed my supervisor to get me so upset that I acted out of character when I was the next in line to take that supervisor position in the pharmacy with no degree. So that is something that I'm very mindful of because I do every once in a while have like a little quick anger type thing, but you never let that anger get the best of you where it gets in the way of the path that you should be going on dealing with finances or anything like that. So that's something I'll never go down that path again. I gotta think twice. Think about I got a family and all that stuff first.
Yeah, that's critical. Our anger issues or whatever in the workplace could definitely lead to not having a job. For sure. Larry? You don't make many mistakes, huh? You ain't got none.
Well, we all make mistakes. It's how many you can share.
Right.
I mean, I'm not crazy. So hopefully I'm not going to just put myself out there. But I will say this, we almost to the break. But if I had to say something I'd do over, probably when I was at Florida, when I had the opportunity to come out early as a junior. I got a mid-round grade. I tested the waters, but I wanted to come back, get my education, and do all the right things and enjoy the experience of college football and college in itself. Coming back that year, I ended up getting injured. I had the $1 million Lloyd's in London contract. I was projected to be a pretty high draft pick. As most people know or they found out here, I tore my knee up. Even after we had an open date, I got scoped. Normally, traditionally, even with the injury now, most people are going to sit out a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks just before they even try to even do anything on the knee. I came back within a day or two of getting scoped, started rehab. We was playing Georgia for the first time in the Swamp rather than in Jacksonville. And I came back in 2 weeks and played on that knee. And I went the whole season, played the Florida State game for the first time without the brace on. Thought I was ready to run. Re-injured the knee at the East-West Shrine All-Star game. Failed the physical at the combine. That was pretty much the beginning of the end. But I had to do that all over again, because I was going for the career starts record at Florida, and a reporter had just made a big statement about something about, you ever think about getting hurt? Lo and behold, I got hurt that game. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably would sit out. I probably would have set out 6 to 8 weeks or whatever, probably the whole season. If I was playing today, my college career probably would be done, and I'd have been getting ready for the NFL. I wouldn't have done no all-star games, no bowl game, no nothing. I just got rehab, got myself ready for the NFL combines. But that's the difference in today's game opposed to opposed to back then. And there was a lot of money that was lost in that, but there is no regrets. I think you find something good in all bad things, and I wouldn't be sitting here today had I had that career. And I don't think I would have had the impact on community, on kids, and everybody else in the success I've had. And I tell people all the time, I'd rather have the money later, early. 20s and 30 money is totally different than 40 and 50 money.
All right. Well, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about a little bit more of that 20 and 30 or 40 and 50 money, if you don't mind. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Kings. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Learned a lot about y'all guys in this last segment. But Johnny, do you think the situation that you had, do you think it had a part to play in shaping you after that?
Yeah, it almost turned me around because I was a little, daredevil with the gun. And, it basically helped me for the good. To put the gun down, but it's just another situation I can piggyback on, as far as me drinking. Man, I was in Alcohol Anonymous 15 years old. Had a promising baseball career to go over there with the Norfolk Tides. They would bring the guys from the Mets there and stuff. I had a promising baseball career, but I'm 15 years old. Started picking up that bottle. I was Alcohol Anonymous. Started messing with girls, and I ain't looked at no more sports since then, for real, as far as playing. Played high school football.
So you were actually in Alcohol Anonymous?
At 15 years old. A real class. I'm talking about it just... I'm going to tell you. I told Deidre on the way here. I'm going to just rough it up a little bit. I had to go to Alcohol Anonymous, so my first day there, I had to tell the teacher why I was in there. I told the teacher I was having family problems. So my mama had to go the last day for me to graduate. So my mom and the teacher talked before I got there. When I got there, the teacher said, "Tell your mama why you told me you say you were drinking." I looked at him, I said, "I don't recall telling you." He said, "Did you say you had found a pro?" I said, "No, sir, I ain't told you nothing like that." So I'm gonna say, "So you telling me he lying?" "Yes, ma'am." He lying. He lying. He lying. I ain't said no such thing. You know, just ever since then, man, I leveled out a little bit. But I just, like I say, you know, we talked that on the previous show. I just wish I had that man there in my life to really lean me to the other side. I was always on, the tight rope. And then when my mama died, it was either fall or stand. And I stood, you know what I'm saying, just pushed through life from there, even though I think my life could have been a lot better, but still making it every day, you know, surrounding myself with good guys like y'all, a couple homeboys I got back at home, you know, so I just strive for the better every day, man.
Yeah, or I mean, I think some things we're supposed to go through. I believe, a lot of things we're supposed to go through. You think that shaped you, Dietrich? I don't know. Fire and stuff, I guess. It made you not want to smoke cigarettes and stuff.
If that didn't, the beating I got,
the beating
that shaped me. That got me right real quick. I left that alone, man. But it's a phase people go through. Johnny enjoyed guns. Larry enjoyed sports and being the number one.
Number one.
But I enjoyed fire.
Can't deny the truth.
You said can't deny the truth.
Hey, so I think it did. Definitely. I did a lot of other things that on fire, but that was just one. That was just one.
We don't want to put too much out.
Yeah, I don't want to do that because I don't want people, on the break, somebody decide to say, that's the pattern of somebody that's
right.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get into that.
And to all the Peter people, he's not against cats.
No,
just
not at all.
You know.
I just have dogs.
You got his dogs against the cats.
Yeah.
Right. So Larry, it's your situation is an interesting one because we see present day Larry Kennedy in all the facets that you live and have. We didn't know you back in those days, and we didn't know you when you got hurt. And it's a tricky question and a tricky answer, I would imagine, but it may be easy for you. But ever wish, or I'll say it like this, no injury, was your only goal in life to be an NFL football player?
Absolutely not. Because, my whole thing was always to be FBI Secret Service. So football was the catalyst that got me there. And of course, I wanted the football more so for the financial stability of my family long term. But I always wanted life after football. I always wanted a career, because at the end of the day, I was going to be done playing football realistically by 30. So I still needed a life. And I didn't want to say I'm retired at 30 with no life. So I still wanted a life. I still wanted a career. So it just, career came faster than I wanted it to. And believe it or not, I wouldn't change it for the world. So it happened. It was bad. It was hard when it happened. It was humbling when it happened. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about people. I learned how people who was in your corner. I learned how people was happy that I got hurt. It was a lot of things we learned.
People were happy you got hurt?
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. You always have a lot of naysayers and haters. And back then, you didn't even call them haters. You just know they just didn't like you. For whatever reason, whether it was my confidence, call it arrogance, call it whatever you want to call it. But it was great while I was doing it. And I say I'll never change it. Never change it because the relationships I built along the way, the people I met along the way, networking I did along the way, my life is priceless. You can't pay for the experience and for the education and for the relationships I have. And a lot of those guys that played a lot of years after me, and a lot longer than me, when it was all said and done, many of those guys want to work for me today. Or I'm their sound advice. I'm giving them advice. I'm their lead counsel. So I'm helping them out of trouble. I'm helping them with careers. I'm helping them with families. So, there was a different plan for me. And I realized the plan, and And I took it and ran with it, and I ain't afraid to embrace it. I've embraced my role in this society, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I definitely I believe that God orders our steps through our life. So it's just amazing that He has to put you through some things, but I think it's just for you to trust what He has for you. Sometimes He can't give you all that at one time because you're not ready for it. If God would have blessed me 10 years prior with the businesses that I have now, I probably wouldn't have been ready for it. You know, I wasn't mature enough to handle things that I have to handle. When people look at me, you got to understand, yeah, you may look at it and say, oh, well, he owns the company. Yeah, but I have to manage it too, and it's a lot of facets to that. You know, when you talk about IRS and running it there, talking to your financial advisor, getting invoice, stuff like that. Like it's more to it than just money coming in. And as a father, you know, I think that's why I'm so. I was talking to my kids, like I said, like they was kids because I didn't want them to make the same mistakes I made. I didn't want them picking up guns like I did. I didn't want them out there thinking that they had to follow the in crowd. Like I was telling somebody the other day, we found out a shooting happened 3 or 4 blocks away from my son's dorm. I said, I got to get my son out of the current vehicle that he drives because he's borrowing one of my vehicles. Not because of anything other than it's a shame that a kid can't drive or get out of something with fear of being robbed.
Stereotype.
And it's a stereotype. And but we're gonna go to break, and when we come out from the break, we're gonna allow everybody to just give one sound advice to somebody. But whether you're talking to somebody that's 50 years old, 30 years old, 20 years old, you might be talking like DJ, they don't play with fire, which we all know you don't supposed to do. But we'll be right back after the break. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Welcome back to Talk Kings and Real Kings, talk about real things. Before we get out of here, though, we want to leave some parting notes, man. Just some motivation for anybody out there that's watching, because we appreciate you all tuning in every week. Johnny, what you got anything to say to the people?
My last note is, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what you're going through, always follow your dreams. You know, you're going to hit some bumps in the roads. You're going to have some downfalls, but keep pushing and follow your dreams. No matter what nobody say or do, follow your dreams. And as far as a child or adult, everybody needs some kind of mentor older than them to follow behind. Get you one.
And I'll go to DJ next, but I'll say it don't even matter old or young, because a mentor could be somebody younger than you. To be honest, you can't be too wise to take counsel from somebody that's smarter than you. Teacher.
My whole thing is just there's nothing wrong with making bad choices or making mistakes. It becomes bad when you don't learn from them. So just make sure you learn from whatever decisions you make, whatever mistake that you would say a bad mistake or anything like that. Make sure you learn from it and move forward to never return to it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in the military, I was reading a book, and it said that every decision has a consequence, whether it's negative or positive. So every decision that you make has a consequence that comes right behind it. It's up to you to make sure that it's a positive consequence.
Well, as my grandma would always say, keep living. You keep living, you're gonna find out a lot. Good or bad, she said.
You live long enough, huh?
You live long enough, it's gonna happen, good or bad. So it's the way you adjust to it, the way you adapt to it, and the way you embrace it, and embrace it with confidence, man. Don't be afraid to be confident out here. You know, right now everybody say, man, when you get your blessings, be humble. Yeah, be humble. Nothing wrong. Definitely be humble. But don't be afraid to be confident in the tender means of why you're humble. It's okay to be you. And don't let nobody kill your dream. And you know what? Your dream could be as big as you want it to be. It's your dream, nobody else's.
Absolutely. I'll leave you all with this. Never give up. You take it from that sound advice from a guy who had a chance to give up many times in his life. And even some guys up here on this panel, helped me through those times that I was going to give up, whether it was giving up on my dream, giving up on marriage, giving up on life. I've been through a lot. So, like LK said, I ain't going to shy away from what I got and what I do, because I'm a walking, living testimony and blessing. You know what I'm saying? I told somebody yesterday that I was supposed to be here, and they corrected me. They said, you are supposed to be here. That is correct. A lot of y'all out there that's looking at this supposed to be here. Let's live every day the best we can. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Catch us on all social media networks. Real Kings talking about real things. We'll see you next week.
King Talk, where men come from all walks of life. Situations about life, pitfalls, God, women, and downfalls. Our lives and everything that we go through. 4 kings with exclusive insight to our world. Now walking the talk kings, real kings talk about real things. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Talk Kings, Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Through 4 kings with exclusive insight to our world. Now walking the Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Talk Kings, Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Talk Kings, where men talk about real life. King Talk, where men come from all walks of life. Situations about life, pitfalls, God, women, and downfalls. Our lives and everything that we go through. 4 kings with exclusive insight to our world. Now walking the Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things. Welcome to Talk Kings, where real kings talk about real things.